Welcome, everybody, to Gambler's World Sports Betting Channel. My name is Ross Benjamin, host of the Gambler's World Sports Betting Podcast, brought to you by GamblersWorld.com and GamblersWorld.net. Today is Monday, July the 31st, and we're joined by Mr. Chip Chirimbus of GamblersWorld.net, and we're going to be talking some Major League Baseball. And if you want to know, if you're curious as to who we like in the Baltimore and Toronto game, and also the Cubs and Reds game, stay tuned because we got two winners coming up for you. Chipper, you're on a nice roll with your Mega Bucks plays, which are your best bets. And tell the folks a little bit about yourself and how you're doing with those Mega Bucks plays. And good morning, by the way.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Ross. Since we joined after the All-Star break, I've really been on a wonderful run. 13-4, I believe it is, or 14-3, in around there. I think one day we had a rain out and made it up the next day. I don't know if it was counted as a win or not, but we've been on a really great streak in the Mega Bucks since the All-Star break, and looking forward to it each and every day, Ross. And you know how difficult it is sometimes when it's not going well, but right now everything's riding well, and I'm really happy to get up every day and just look at the board.
Chipper was number one for a long while since we launched the site at gamblersworld.net. He's number two, which is still very good. I mean, Matt Fargo's been on fire, and he's a big underdog player, Chipper. So when you're hitting a high percentage, your Major League Baseball underdogs, that money piles up, right?
I don't begrudge anybody that can win.
Yeah, exactly right. So 10 great handicappers over at gamblersworld.net. Check it out, folks. We give you our personal guarantee policy, which all single game and multi-game daily packages are guaranteed, and all subscription plans of 30 days or less are guaranteed. And what that simply means is if you pay $3.99 for a monthly package from myself or Chip Chirimbus, and by chance we don't make you a profit when it comes to our grading system, then your account will be credited the exact amount of your purchase price. Using this example would be $3.99, and you can use that anytime you want, whether on any package you want or any subscription you want toward any handicapper you want. So if you lose with me and you want to use your $3.99 to buy Chip for a month, you could do that. You're not confined to just one handicapper. And as everybody out there knows, when you put together a great staff like we have over at gamblersworld.net, guys go on hot streaks, and other guys, you can't win all the time. So it gives you a bevy of top shelf world-class handicappers at gamblersworld.net. And don't forget, check out gamblersworld.com. That's our video portion of the site. You'll see all our podcasts up there. Also, Sean Higgs' Midday Money Show. Jesse Shule does a daily free pick video for himself, about 3 to 4 minutes long. So, again, a wide variety of things to choose from at gamblersworld.com and gamblersworld.net. Chipper, football season is nearing, and it's our time of year, right? We're not only is it, I could only speak for myself, my favorite time of year, but a lot of the viewers out there favorite time of year. Our views here on the podcast go up, the amount of sales go up, the views at the websites go up. Just a simple question. I mean, how early is too early to start looking at, let's use the NFL Week 1, for example?
Well, you can get a good idea of what the bookmakers are thinking if you look at these numbers right now, and then you see what the public does with them. Sometimes they'll straighten them out, or they'll run with a certain side. And I like to look now, but I don't like to make any formal decisions because I don't like to get locked in. Things change very quickly. Not only injuries, but there's a lot of other factors that go into it as well.
I mean, just look at Joe Burrow going down.
Yeah,
probably not going to be available in Week 1. The way it looks right now. It could change, right? And if you know something different, please chime in. But my point being is, if you made a bet on Cincinnati or faded Cincinnati last week, you're probably not going to be very happy right now, because you could have got Cincinnati at a lower number without Burrow, or if you took the underdog, you could have got a bigger number. So, or how could I put that? Cincinnati. If you took Cincinnati, you're not happy right now. Let's put it that way. Yeah, but sure. In any event, Yeah, I'm not a proponent of getting down too early for that very reason. You leave yourself vulnerable and wide open to an injury occurring and a line move that doesn't favor you. So,
Well, a lot of professionals out here I know do take futures and they like it, and they always feel that at one time or another they can hedge or get off it or use
yeah.
it to their benefit. So they're pretty sharp people, and they like their sides, and I think they're getting better of the number at the time they make the wager. I know some people that jumped on the Reds at 50-1 to win it all when they were in the middle of their streak. And it may not seem like a good bet at all, but compared when the odds drop down to like 7 or 8-1, they could sell or get off it in one way or another.
And just keep in mind, folks, Chip is talking about sharp sports bettors in Vegas, and we're sharp, okay? But the point is, we only have to answer to ourselves. We give you a line where, since, for example, and I'm being hypothetical here. Cincinnati's -7 with Burrow in week 1. And I don't know what the line is right now because I don't look that early.
Right.
And he gets hurt. And now all of a sudden Cincinnati drops a 3 or 3.5. A sharp sports bettor or somebody who just bets on their own games in Vegas and does not have to worry about what they gave a client. It's a whole different entity than what we do, because when that happens with us, it creates a nightmarish type of scenario sometimes.
We're locked in, and we don't want to get locked in at all.
Yeah. And we got to look out for the customer's best interest as well. But I will say, getting down early sometime the week of a game, with the Kellerberg guys we have at gamblersworld.net is advantageous, because I would venture to say more times than not, you're going to get a more favorable line from them when they get down early. So just keep an eye on that going forward. Anyway, all right, let's get to the games today that we're going to cover. You're going to be looking at the Baltimore and Toronto game. It'll be Kyle Gibson for the Baltimore Orioles, the first place Baltimore Orioles, ahead by 4.5 games now. Unbelievable. At Toronto, and Toronto sends Chris Bassett to the mound, who's been extraordinarily good this year at home. And right now, Toronto is -135. And one of those scenarios that Chips likes to look at is you got a team that's 7 or 8 games behind in the standings against Baltimore, and they're -135 at home against a first place club. Take it away.
That is the first thing that drew my attention to the game, was the number and the fact that the Blue Jays were such a prohibitive favorite. Kyle Gibson on the mound for Baltimore been very fortunate this year to be 9-6. His ERA is 4.68. Very pedestrian, Ross. He's had 127 innings, given up 128 hits, 100 strikeouts. Though Baltimore is 5-1 over Toronto this season, which means they did sweep him in a 3-game series. Gibson's last 3 starts haven't gone all that well. He's only lasted 9 innings and given up 11 runs. So Gibson may be falling off the charts a little bit right now, and he's going head-to-head with Chris Bassett at 10-5, and having one of his better seasons, 3.81 ERA. Ross Bassett had a big winning season with the Mets last year, and he was successful when he used to pitch with Oakland. So I'm kind of intrigued as to why he's finding so many different teams. He's won 4 of his last 5 decisions, Ross, and the one loss came against the Orioles when he got totally shelled by them earlier in the year. He gave up 8 runs and 11 hits in 3 innings. Toronto trails Baltimore by 5.5 games, but they have a half-game lead in the wild card chase over the Red Sox right now. They're 3-1 versus the Orioles at home. Bassett is 3-1 versus Orioles lifetime with a 4.55 ERA. So the ERA is high, but he has managed to win. Baltimore's a different team right now, and I even think that Toronto's a little bit different. For the first time in a number of years, I actually think they have a chance. Most of the time, I think not, and most of the time I'm hearing how the Blue Jays are going to make a run and Toronto's going to make a run, and then, of course, the Yankees just squash that. But the Yankees are nowhere to be found this year, and Toronto's going to slip in along with some others.
Very good. So Chip Chirimbus likes the Toronto Blue Jays -135 over the Baltimore Orioles on Monday, July the 31st. That game goes at 7:07 p.m. Eastern time. I said about 7 games, but it's actually exactly 5.5 game lead. The Baltimore now holds over Toronto. And Toronto's creeping up on Tampa Bay as well. I think they're only a game behind Tampa Bay. So, you know what I'd be looking at, and I do like your pick. I like the first 5 inning pick as well, because you look at what the disparity in numbers between the two starting pitchers. Now, yes, his ERA, meaning Chris Bassett, is 3.91 for the year, but at home, in 10 starts at home, a 2.24 ERA, an 0.87 WHIP, averaging 6.4 innings pitched per outing. Where Gibson, you look at his numbers recently and for the season, they're not horrible, but they're certainly not, they're uninspiring. Let's put it this way: a 4.68 ERA on the road, 5.19 over his last 3 starts. And that Baltimore bullpen is very good. So if by chance Gibson throws a strong 5 innings and it's a tie game, I like Baltimore's bullpen a little more than Toronto's. But I'm going to say that Toronto will be able to jump all over Gibson early, and I think Bassett will atone for that earlier season shelling he took at Baltimore, because he has pitched extremely well at home this year. So that would be my lean, but more importantly, Chip likes the Toronto Blue Jays minus 135 in this game. All right, I'm going to take a look at the Reds and the Cubs. Right now, the Cubs are a minus 120 money line home favorite. The Reds are plus 110. The Cubs lost 3-0 to St. Louis yesterday. That ended an 8-game win streak. And if you watched our show last week with Chip, I believe it was on Thursday, the Chip indicated that he looks for situations like this where a team is on an 8-game win streak, and here they are as an underdog in the game against a team with a losing record. And sure enough, Chipper chipped in with a 10-unit play yesterday on the St. Louis Cardinals, which is our highest rated selections at gamblersworld.com, and he cashed in. Just a little plug for you, Chip.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And the Cubs, again, this year, 1-3. After a shutout loss. Marcus Stroman, who got off to a very good start for the Chicago Cubs this season, but over his last 6 starts, an 8.00 ERA and a 1.85 WHIP, not good at all, folks. And Andrew Abbott, I just love this kid, but I try to keep it in perspective because the line has to show me some value with him on the mound, because he is being noticed now, and there's been a couple times he's been a heavy favorite. But not in this situation. He's an underdog. And the Reds are 8-2 this year with Abbott on the mound. His 1.90 ERA and 0.96 WHIP during those 10 outings had a lot to do with the Reds' success. He averages over 6 innings pitched per start. 5 of his 10 starts this year, he's allowed 0 earned runs. And also the last 2 starts, which came recently, 14 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 8 hits, 15-3 strikeout to walk ratio. Cincinnati 3-0 at Wrigley Field this year, outscored the Cubs in those games 25-10. They faced the Cubs 5 times this year. The Reds are averaging 7.4 runs per game against the Cubs on the season. And since June the 15th, we talk about how hot the Cubs have been, but Cincinnati, since June 5th, about 32-16. And also that includes 18-7 on the road. That's playing good baseball as well. So 2 teams playing good baseball, squaring off tonight. I like the starting pitching matchup, and that's what ultimately prevailed for me, Chipper. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Reds in this spot, plus 110. Your thoughts?
This Abbott, I sure hate to fade him. I mean, he's been so effective, really throwing like a mature pitcher, throwing a lot of strikes and working batters. And but I sort of felt the edge would go the other way here with the Cubs coming back with Stroman. I know he's been bad the last outings. What'd you say, 6 or 8 outings now? He's
the last
struggled.
6 outings, he's not been very good.
And I had fairly good success with him early in the year, so I'm having difficulty fading him here. I thought it might be a spot where after the Cubs got shut out yesterday, that he might bounce back in his game. So, I looked with a little trepidation on this one. I hate to play against this Cincinnati team. You know how enamored I am with their rookie sensations they have out there, and so I find it tough.
Yeah,
make this
so
play right now.
more or less, you don't really have a strong opinion on the game, one way or the other.
No.
Okay. So there you go. All right. So I'm going to take the Cincinnati Reds plus 110. And Chipper's going to take the Toronto Blue Jays minus 135 on Monday, July 31st. All right, Chipper, tell the folks again, fill them in what you may have coming up this week at gamblersworld.net and any hot streaks you like to either touch upon or reemphasize that you already said.
Thank you, Russ. I like to hang my hat on my single strongest play of the day, each and every day. Used to term it the A play. Now, more or less, it's called the megabuck play. And last night, like I said, I had the Cardinals. I went 3-0 over the Cubs, who had won 8 in a row. And again, each and every day, I'm going to give you 1 megabucks and usually a package of 3. Hopefully, you can go 3-0. Yesterday, 2-1. But we're coming along. Sunday only gave out 1 play. Struggled with the Yankees, and my goodness, you get beat with them once in a while. But, what can we do? We're going to have to sit here and come out with winner after winner, and I'm looking to post 3 each and every day.
There you go. Chip Chirimbus at gamblersworld.net. And folks, he's been around for a long time. And when guys are around for a long time, it's because this is an industry. You don't last a long time unless you're successful. So his longevity speaks volumes. I'm not going to tell you how many years, because then you're going to say this guy's an old fogey with a stogie that doesn't know how to pick an apple from an apple tree. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. He wouldn't be on his channel otherwise. Anyway, you could find me at gamblersworld.net as well. Don't forget, folks, our grading system. Each handicapper, our grading system is 2, 3, 4 unit, 5 unit, 10 unit. 5 different unit values that we attach to each one of our picks. Now, here's the thing. You only get 2 10-unit picks per month, and you only get 6 5-unit picks per month. So the majority of our picks are going to be between 2 and 4 units. Chipper, when he goes to the Megabucks plays, most of those are going to be 5 and 10 units. Matter of fact, I just mentioned he had a Megabucks play yesterday. It's nearing the end of the month. He liked the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday as a favorite against the Red Hot Cubs, and they came through. So that's how we grade our plays. Also, folks, do not forget, if you're watching on a PC, there's a WC button right underneath. You see on the bottom right-hand side. Click on that. It'll subscribe you to our channel, and it's absolutely free to do so. If you're watching, assuredly, you're interested in sports betting and sports betting topics and free picks from some good handicappers. And that's what you get when you subscribe and hit your notification bell. And that will alert you immediately upon any of our Winner's Circle sports betting podcasts going up on our channel. And if you're watching on a mobile phone, which most of you are these days, you'll see a black subscribe button right underneath the video. Just hit that subscribe button. And most of all, folks, we put a lot of hard time and effort into this. And we try to give you the most informed opinions and discussions that will make you a smarter sports bettor today than yesterday. So just a small token of appreciation. Be like me and Chip when we sit down at the bar. We give a tip to the bartender. We're not asking you to reach in your pocket. We're asking you, all you have to do, hit that like button underneath. All right. So until the next time, Chip will be back with us on Thursday morning, and we'll be discussing Major League Baseball at that time. Tomorrow, we will be back with Jesse Schul and Sean Higgs. And until then, folks, for Chip Chirimbus and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless.